Howdy, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of the Faab Five campaign here on the Random Rhapsody Network. As always, we are live streaming our sessions on twitch.tv first, and then we'll be uploading the episodes to YouTube and podcast 1 week later. If you enjoy what you see here, feel free to follow and subscribe here on Twitch, and you can check us out on Facebook as Random Rhapsody TV or on Twitter as Random_Rhapsody. Now then, when we last left off, the Faab Five had decided to join an expedition led by their old comrade, Tomas Rothen, to infiltrate the lair of an important member of the Cult of the Dreamer, the mysterious figure known only as the Dream Witness. While the first few days of travel had gone quite easily for the Faab Five, the group's fortunes took a turn for the worse as a large storm front rolled in, severely limiting the fishing vessel's ability to travel. Most of the ship's crew were forced to go below deck to man the oars while the Faab Five worked with the captain above deck. While they did succeed in securing the ship, the strength of the storm continued to grow, and eventually the ship was forced to cease its travel altogether. The ship dropped anchor and came to rest not far from the outlet into a lake. And as night wore on, Eloise, with her perfect perception, spotted the silhouettes of over a dozen winged creatures, barely illuminated by the lightning, and were flapping their way towards their ship. Eloise and Cheeky Clouds raised the alarm, summoning forth the rest of the Faab Five, minus a snoring Necthros Veil. And the ship's crew hurried out as well to defend against the large flock of harpies that came bearing down upon them. During the battle, both the ship's captain and Liam ended up being charmed by one of the harpy songs, and both actually jumped overboard in an attempt to get closer to the singer. In the end, only a few of the harpies managed to escape, though quite a few ended up falling into the water and was swept away by the current. Once their companions were back inside the boat, the Faab Five set about removing the heads of the harpies for their collections. And so, Faab Five, you finish collecting your trophies, and the captain begins ordering everybody about, clearing the deck of the harpies' remains, and checking the boat for damage from the attack. The ship's crew immediately begins their tasks, and though it's fairly certain to you all, as you stand there, that the yellow-skinned tiefling expects each of you to help out as well. As you all set about to help, a thought comes to each of your minds, a question for you all to consider. And with the 52 you guys rolled before the session, the question that's on each of your minds is, if your character was granted a single use of the wish spell, what would they use it for? Blood, you rolled the dice, so what would you use your wish for?
Well, I think it's kind of obvious for him. He'd probably wish to go back to that day and talk his brother out of going. He's not going to just automatically wish and say, hey, it's not going to happen. But he needs to, because he won't take away his brother's free will, but he would wish to go back and argue against his brother going to the Elven Kingdom, which resulted in his death. So he'd replay that day, stop it from happening.
Okay, I dig it. Going back to fix the mistakes of the past is always something people wish for. Liam, how about you?
Beer, 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 tiddly beer, beer, beer.
Yeah, I suppose that's about right. You'd wish for some beer. I mean, you have a jug of an alchemy jug that does, I will remind you, make beer constantly. And you guys never ever use it. I think last session was the first time you used it in a while.
I suppose since I have unlimited beer, I'd give my wish to someone else. I have everything I want.
Oh, you just give some random person a wish. That would be hilarious. Nothing bad could possibly happen from that.
Of course not.
Apollyon, how about you?
Oh, I would wish to go back to the mountaintops in a grand mansion with me and my beloved Mr. Oliver. Oh, my biscuit. We would just live happily ever after. We would have Great Danes in the front yard and pumping iron in the back. Oh, yeah, that would be the life.
Yeah, that pretty much tracks for Apollyon. I dig it. You and Biscuit, your love, living the good life. I like it. Okay. Well, with that in mind, these thoughts kind of weighing on your heads as you begin cleaning up and helping the members of the crew about the ship. It's still very early in the morning, and the rain doesn't seem to be letting up anytime soon. The darkness all around you is very thick, illuminated only by the lanterns strewn about the ship. You still have maybe 3 or 4 or so hours before dawn, and you are all chilled to the bone by the cold spring storm. And so, Faab Five, what do you guys want to do for the remainder of the evening?
Well, if it's cold as shit, Liam's probably gonna go inside.
Who is left on
Who is left?
doing their watch? I don't remember.
Shit.
Probably the last person to roll perception.
You know what? I think I might have been on mine. Because I think, because I know. No, it might have been somebody else. Well, no, yeah, because I think I went last. I chose to go last on the watches, so I think that's when we got attacked.
There's so much text.
It doesn't go up far enough. I think
Yeah,
it was either mine or Eloise's, because somebody rolled like a 20.
It
Doesn't
was Eloise's roll. She's the one who spotted the harpies.
Well, then I guess my watch would have been next.
Okay. So everybody else heads off back to bed. Blood, you take up watch for the last watch of the evening, and the captain herself is actually taking this watch. She seems fairly untrusting of the fact that her ship just got attacked again. And so
We
she's
can't
saying,
blame that on us. I can't say that that's our fault, but
do you say that out loud?
well, I mean, if that's what if she says something out loud, he would respond. He goes, that I don't see how that is our fault.
She actually doesn't seem to be interested in talking. She's taken up her position at the wheel. Waits for you to take up your position. And honestly, for the most part, she pretty much ignores you during your watch.
Well, that's rude. But I will just sit there at the front of the ship and just kind of be writing in my little wrist pocket notebook and just keep to myself.
Go ahead and roll your perception check.
That's 18, not bad.
Okay. 18. So for the next couple hours, you stand at the foot or at the front of the ship, looking over the edge, watching the horizon, scanning with your cat eyes. And with an 18 perception, it's dark, it's stormy, the rain is slowly beginning to let up and get a little bit lighter, For you, you're straining with your ears, and the rumbling of the thunder is beginning to lessen as well, and it seems the storm is beginning to move on. You do see a bit of movement out there, but as you kind of watch with your eyes, you occasionally see a fox go running by through the grass, but beyond that, it's a fairly quiet evening. You're cold, you are chilled to the bone, and you pull up your hood and try to shield yourself as best as you can from this rain. But as the last few hours of the evening push on, that rain begins to die off, and it is replaced by a low-moving fog that seems to roll in,
Of course it does.
coming in from the north.
Oh, so it's coming from the forest.
No, the forest is to the
Like-
west view.
Okay, so I guess this really isn't indicative of where we are. I mean, we can't see a shoreline or.
Like we're traveling down the Mississippi.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like traveling down the Mississippi in the early morning. You're getting
Yeah.
that weak fog that's coming around. You can see both sides of the river as you're moving, as you're sitting there in the middle, because you are currently anchored. But
that's right.
but you do have some visibility.
So it doesn't look like it's spooky magical fog. It's just the normal run-of-the-mill shit.
Yeah, it's just the normal run-of-the-mill big river in the middle of the continent fog. that
Yeah,
you-
so we're not getting sucked into Barovia. Good.
No, this is something you and I and all four of us have seen many times living in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. Well, he'll just kind of keep note of little creatures he can kind of see running along the shore. Maybe if they get a chance to go hunt for something. He knows there's game out there.
Okay. So as everybody begins to rouse and wake from your slumber, you all come out on deck, find yourself in the similar situation, that low fog over the river. There's very little wind, and what there is seems to be blowing in a southern direction, telling you that probably in a few more hours, this fog will at least be pushed away. The captain in her position says to keep the sails raised, and once everybody is had their breakfast provided by the dwarf rigger, most of the ship's crew go down to the lower deck and begin pulling out the oars to begin to set off for the day. Apollyon, you're called upon to hoist the anchor. So if you could give me an athletics check.
I think he just stepped away from his keyboard.
Of course.
You want me to give an athletics check? I heard
Yes,
you.
please. Oh, yeah. With a 23, you grab the rope that's tied to the anchor. Ah, there. Great. Apollyon, with your 23, you grab the rope and begin pulling it up, your muscles bulging with this easy feat. Everyone just watches in awe as you, hand over hand, pulling up that rope until you just drag the anchor up onto the ship, and you just stand and turn, holding the anchor upright, up into the air, and you yell out this triumphant roar, and everyone's just kind of watching you like, dude, you just had to pull it up. It's not that
Yeah! Yeah, I see you looking at these. All of this.
So, Veil, you awaken from a particularly fitful slumber. You had slept all night long and are feeling quite good as you step out onto the deck and see Apollyon holding this anchor up above his head. What the heck is going on?
I say, good morning. Apollyon, I see you're getting your morning exercise.
You know it.
Ah, I must have been out for a while. What did I miss?
Damn winged ladies attacked the boat.
Ah, what a shame. I definitely would have helped you with that. Unfortunately, I was out of commission.
Don't worry, we handled it. Nothing old Apollyon and Blood and Liam can't take care of.
Ah, as you should.
Fucking bastard. I don't know why. It just. Oh my god. God, I love Veil.
But
There you go.
anyone?
Like on the deck of the ship?
What's that?
Are there still dead harpies on the deck of the ship?
You guys cleaned those off. You had taken the heads the previous evening, and the captain had ordered you all to clean up the ship and dispose of them. So, what did you do
Okay.
with them?
I think we just pushed them off the side of the boat.
Probably.
I was just gonna show Vale because he likes dead stuff.
Well, you still have the heads.
Yeah, I'm admiring the heads. I'm looking in the bag of colding and admiring the heads, giving you guys a nod of approval.
And I don't assume that's something you could eventually raise dead with, is it? Does it have to be, or would it?
I mean, it'd be
count?
if it was a skeleton or a full body,
Okay.
I'd be able to, but it wouldn't be. It'd just
wings,
be regular zombie or skeleton statistics, I believe.
All right, well, so let's push on.
With the anchor raised and all of the crew now using oars while the captain guides the ship, the boat does lurch off and begin its journey once again towards Laverin. So, I'm gonna have you guys make some rolls.
Here we go.
So I'm gonna need somebody first off to roll a d8, and one more person. Okay, perfect. So Liam and Apollyon both rolled their d8s. Next off, I'm going to need somebody to roll a d20.
Ugh,
And
8.
one more d20.
Vale?
Yep, Vale, that'd be you.
Ooh,
Okay.
let's hope that's not a
Oh,
bad.
wow. Getting that nat one out of the way, I like it.
Yeah, that was a natural one.
Interesting. So, as you can begin to pedal or your way, I don't know what's the correct nautical term, but
Row?
anyway, row. Yeah, row. That's it. Thank you. I'm an idiot. Thank you, fisherman.
As in row your boat. Yes, that's right. I got you.
Yes. Anyway, you guys all begin. The ship begins rowing forward down the river, and as it does so, over the course of the next hour or so, you are continue to be plagued by this low, patchy fog that seems to permeate the early morning. This continues on for longer than you're expecting, and as you continue on traveling for another hour or more, Blood, since you've been sticking to the front of the ship, keeping watch for the most part, why don't you go ahead and give me a perception check?
$17?
Okay. With the 17, after about an hour or so, like I said, you see a small rowboat appear in the beginning to come out of the fog. Ahead of you, about 50 or so feet in front of you, which is just at the edge of your field of vision.
Gonna have that ballista primed and ready to go, just in case.
Okay, you go running over to the ballista, load it with its big bolt, and cock it back. And as you're watching, it's beginning to draw closer towards you. You begin to see the shapes of 3 figures: 2 humans and a gnome. One of the human, the male, is particularly old and has a bald head, and you begin to see a large, bushy goatee around the front of his face. Think Master Roshi without the glasses.
Real quick, I can't see anything. It's all black for me.
Let me see
Try
here.
sliding your character. There's 2 of you out there
Yeah,
too.
it's because you pulled
Yeah.
off. You pulled out a character. Hold on a second.
I pulled one. Well, it was black anyway. I figured if I put a character on there, I could see, and it was still black.
There you go. How's it now? Can you see now?
Perfect. So, yep. I'll take one of the guys. Or is there still only one guy on there, or do I have 2? I mean,
No, I removed the other one.
all right, perfect. Thank you.
Everybody else good? Can see?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
The woman seated in front of him is a dark-haired younger woman. Or olive skin, seems tanned a bit, and she is there rowing along with the gnome, while the elderly man sits behind the 3. Once they catch sight of your boat, as you're kind of aiming the ballista down, the old man half stands a little bit and calls out, "Oh, hello there! We mean you no harm, friends, and we hope you mean the same. We are members of the Order of the Blue Heron from Bradfordshire."
I've never been there, bud. I couldn't tell you what it is. But we've had some trouble on the river. So I'd strongly suggest you not do anything untoward.
I'm gonna, hearing that, lean next to Blood and whisper, "Do not let them on this boat."
Okay, do you know these people?
I'll explain later. Do not let them on this boat.
Well,
You
it's
don't
not really
have to
my
shoot
boat,
them,
but
but don't
Liam,
let them on.
go ahead and make a stealth check for me, because it seems like you're kind of trying to be quiet about this as you say it.
Ooh.
15, not great.
So as you're saying this, the voice calls out again. Hello, we are traveling to Valena, seeking aid. We mean you no harm, and if you do not attack us, we are happy to just continue on down the river. Please, we mean you no harm.
Well, like I said,
I'll reach out and push the crossbow up in the air, like so it's not pointing at them anymore. Not saying anything else, but just pointing out of their direction.
Okay.
Just saying, they've said they mean us no harm so many times. I feel like they mean us harm.
I'm most distrustful of them as well.
And at this
Just-
point, you can see the 2 rowing are kind of pulling back and trying to get a little bit of a distance away from your boat.
We don't really care who you are. We're just sailing on down the river.
Very well, then.
I mean, it's not my ship, but as far as I'm concerned, I mean, you're just people.
They seem to be just rowing a little bit to the side, towards the north side of the bank, and they begin trying to row around the boat. If you guys aren't going to do anything, they will eventually just make it to the other side and move on.
I'm going to look through Jareth's eyes and try to see if I can see anything that they might be concealing, or if there's anything out of the ordinary with them.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check with Jareth. It's a shame Eloise isn't here today.
Come
We
on,
could
bird.
definitely use her as the voice of reason.
These eyes have seen a lot of love, but they're never gonna see another 16 on perception.
And yeah, with
Yeah, it's a 16.
with a 16, you can tell that these three individuals are hurt. They all have bruising about their face and bodies, and their clothes are torn in several places, and Jareth can see blood in a few small places around their bodies. They look beat up, like they've been through the ringer. The elderly
Like they
of the
look almost like a fireball would finish the job.
hard to judge,
I'm
but
just
possibly
kidding.
hard to judge, but possibly. They definitely look worse for wear, like they've seen some shit and are trying to get away from it.
I guess what
Fireball is always a solution. It's not the only solution.
I mean,
Yes, I'll remember that.
From the distance, would Blood notice that they're kind of roughed up?
Go ahead and make just a straight
Well,
perception check.
I mean, I would tell you too. I would walk up to where you are, and I would say, explain to you what
14.
I saw through Jareth's eyes.
And with the owl flying overhead, you can see the old man stand up, and he's holding his hands out, his empty hands. You see a staff or two probably in the boat itself underneath, and a couple small sacks. But apart from that, they don't seem to have anything.
I see you
So,
had some trouble yourselves.
Yes, indeed we have. A terrible, terrible tragedy has befallen our monastery. One that is well out of our depth to understand.
How far from here is your monastery?
Quite far. Bradfordshire is several days north and to the east of where we are. We are planning. We came to this river to travel to Valena to seek out the aid of the erudite conclave. You see, a pair of ancient and revered relics was stolen from their resting place within the monastery. A tragedy in and of itself. Unfortunately, before we could begin to attempt to recover, a horde of wraiths rose up from the crypts beneath the monastery and attacked us.
How?
You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
How did these weapons prevent such a thing from happening before?
No one knows. The relics have been a part of our monastery since its founding. We did not know these wraiths were beneath us. And yet they rose and slain many of our number in the initial assault. We were forced to flee from the grounds. And although we've tried numerous attempts to retake our monastery, even with the assistance of hired mercenaries, we have failed to retake our home. No matter how many wraiths are destroyed, more seem to just take our place, and we are at a loss of what to do.
And you said this is a great distance from here, to the north and the east from where we are?
Go ahead and make a history check, I think.
I'm wondering if, I guess, Apollyon and I would have made it that way. An 11.
Yeah, you've never heard of Bradfordshire before. You're not sure.
Well, I was to say, I think someone might have mentioned it, but I don't recall enough to say that Blood would have heard that word before. Out of game, Joe knows, but I can't remember if he has actually said that.
I'm pretty sure it's never really come up.
Yep, doesn't sound familiar to me.
And with an
Yeah.
11 history, nothing's coming to mind.
Yeah, big guy. I don't think we made it that far. We were kind of getting away.
I don't remember stopping in a monastery, that's for sure.
Hey,
Oh
Quick,
no, we
how's it
certainly
going,
would
buddy?
have done that. They wouldn't take you. How far from where we are is it to Valena?
How far is it to Valena?
Yeah, because they're going. They said they're going there as well. How far to get there from where we are?
I saw it, Quick. Thanks for the help. I will make you a mod at the end. Yeah. So,
We still got another 2 days of travel.
4 days, right?
it was 2 days yesterday. It will be.
And then
I
we
believe
were
it takes.
anchored.
You got one more day of
Yeah.
travel. No, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. You're right. You were anchored, so you do have basically have a full day and a half of travel.
Because I mean, knowing that Liam just whispered, "Hey, don't let him on," and then he knows that they're fucked up. It's conflicted, but he's like, "This isn't my ship."
I honestly
Maybe
just
ask
have
the
no idea how to
captain
do it.
if we
Quick.
could render aid, but it's not my decision. We are just passengers on her ship.
Are you what are you asking?
He's just telling him, he's like, I mean, you seem like you might need some aid. He's like, this isn't my ship, but we might be able to render some healing. Maybe not let him on the ship, but maybe, Eloise, since she isn't with us, we could just have her role play that she give them some healing meds.
I mean, yeah, I'm fine with that. If you wanna say you call them over and you throw down a rope to allow them to at least get alongside the ship. Throwing down a rope ladder, Eloise at least scurries down and begins casting healing. Cure wounds on it.
Because I figured it's not his ship, so he can't definitively say, "Hey, come on aboard." But he said it's like we have a companion that can maybe at least heal your wounds, so it's an easier trip the next day and a half.
Any help would be appreciated. We don't have much in the way of provisions, but Port Valena is only a few days' travel, so I'm sure we will make it before long.
I'll give him some rations too, because she's not a ranger, so she doesn't have Goodberry, does she? Or do druids get
A
something
druid
like that?
can do that, but they have to prepare
They
it,
don't-
and
Yeah.
not knowing
we
what
don't
she
know.
has prepared, I'm not going to puppet her too much. I think if Eloise were here, it'd probably be a lot different, but she's not here, so we're just going to go ahead, offer them healing. And
Yeah, I mean, I've got listed 10 rations, so I'll at least give them, 5 to get them there, and I can always get something else.
Okay. And
So as they're closer to the ship, I'm going to see if I can get a closer look at that rod that he had.
there's a couple quarterstaffs at the bottom of his boat, is what it is. Hold on a second.
Oh, okay, so it's not like a magic rod or anything.
Are you casting detect magic to figure that out?
Well, I'm just gonna go by what I could see. And if you give me a minute or two, I could roll a perception check or whatever.
Yeah, go ahead.
Investigation, whatever you need me to.
Go ahead and make a
All right,
perception
so continue to talk. I'm gonna be back in my truck in about 2 minutes.
Okay, no problem. So anyway, Eloise does administer healing to them. Blood, you give them the rations, which they do gratefully accept. And thank you very much. Liam, what are you doing when they come close to the boat?
I am getting away from the edge and tipping my hat down, not saying a word.
Okay.
You want like a deception check or something?
Sure, why not?
Well, they wouldn't see him. They're not coming up on the ship.
22.
Liam is nonchalantly just leaning up against the one side of one of the smaller masts. His back is to them, his hat's down, he's got that straw in his mouth that he's just chewing, and his probably foot is up against the back of the mast, and he's just kind of in his own little space and ignoring everybody and trying to be as innocuous as possible. But the three do not make it onto the ship. They stay right where they are. And they accept what aid you're offering. Eventually, they do let go of the rope and push off. With a 7 perception veil,
Yeah, that was seven.
it looks like just a couple basic quarterstaffs. You've seen Liam use them plenty of times, and it's just a carved stick.
All right, good enough for me.
Okay.
So, you said you've run into some trouble at your old monastery, but these wounds look a little fresher than that. Have you been having trouble here on the river?
Well, the river is a very dangerous place. We have had our fair share of run-ins.
We've been attacked by griffins and harpies already, and it's been just a couple of days.
There are many dangers along this river. Be safe, friends, and we thank you all for your aid.
You too. Well, I mean, we're headed to Valena, so we might end up seeing you there.
They're going the opposite direction.
I thought they were.
They're heading to Valena. Sorry, I thought
Yeah,
you said
yeah.
Laverin. Sorry, I thought you said Laverin.
Oh, that's right. We're going to Laverin. Yeah,
Yeah, you
okay.
guys
So
are
they're
going
going.
to
Oh, they're going back to the port. Oh, well,
Yeah.
they're going against the fucking.
Two ships crossing in the night, bro. Two
what's
different
it called,
directions.
Yeah,
They're going against
They were talking.
the
they're
fucking
gonna-
current. That's the word I'm looking for. Current.
yeah. That's why they're having such a hard time getting where they're going. But
Well, maybe he should fucking walk.
I'm going to suggest Mitchell's as a place to visit.
Maybe Eloise can give him a flyer. She.
sure, why not? Eloise gives them a flyer, and they, thank you. We will. These are poor people. They have no money, and he's looking very confused at this thing that you've handed him.
Yeah. So they're going. Oh well. All right. Yeah. I'd say let him go. We'll wish him well.
Okay, and they push off from your boat and begin to continue to row the opposite direction from you down the river.
As soon as they are gone, I'm gonna be like, all right, what the fuck, bud? Who are those people to you?
The last grift that I pulled was on the Order of the Blue Heron. So
Okay. I
I
assume they
may
recognize you.
be responsible, but who's to say that Wraiths weren't going to attack them anyway? There's no way of knowing that. So
He mentioned that
I was just a passerby.
he mentioned when 2 relics went missing is when it happened. Is that what was that your grift, your job?
They were part of the grift, yeah.
Alright. I'm not. Hey, I have absolutely no room to talk. I cannot judge you.
And I also lean in and say, I've done worse for less.
It's like, hey, you were there. He and I dug up bodies and we got attacked by 2 wraiths. So I can't judge.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
But the issue is they are going to talk to the conclave that we just left and we are partnered with. Just
Hey, at the conclave I talk like this. Back in Bradfordshire, I spoke completely different. Had a different look to me. They wouldn't recognize me now anyway.
you're definitely wearing different clothes than when I met you, so hopefully they won't be looking for you in particular, but
I tend to change clothes rather frequently for reasons like that, yeah.
so well, I'll keep you secret. I'm not gonna let anything happen to you. Hey, they are partners.
So, who wants to go fishing?
Um,
Ooh, I do.
Sure enough, the afternoon does begin to creep upon you, and eventually the fog does lift. You all kind of glance back, and the rowboat full of monks that you had met, quite a distance away, they're out of eyeshot. But, you know, something to think about. And as I'm sure, no doubt, Liam, your thoughts are lingering on what the monk had said. You all eventually gain a little bit of wind, picking up the sails and letting them drop down. And you are eventually allowed to have poles passed out. And if you want to, you can go ahead and fish.
I'm fish. Although sooner or later, Blood does want to try bow fishing, but he's not going to today.
I mean, you can certainly try. I have no problem with that.
Well, I mean, he's crossbows, fires, doesn't exactly fire bolts. And he doesn't
No,
want
it
to bust
doesn't.
out the... He's got a bow and he's got arrows, but he's just going to chill.
Okay. So are all four of you fishing?
Well, I
Yeah.
won't. I'll
Yeah, I'll try.
Hey,
Okay. So everybody who wants to try, your poles are passed out, bait is given, and all of you cast your lines over the side of the ship. Everybody, give me a survival check. Who's going to be fishing? Okay. So, Liam and Apollyon, both of you trailing your lines for the better part of an hour. Eventually, you both get bites on the end of your hook. Veil, you continue to just wait patiently.
You continue to
line
wait
just
patiently.
Blood, we still need a roll.
I'm
So,
not fishing.
Yep, so I need both Liam and Apollyon to roll a d20 for me.
Wow, I rolled another 13.
Okay. You both snag your lines and begin reeling as hard as you can. Reeling and reeling and reeling and reeling. Roll for me athletics checks.
That's a 10.
That's
Wow.
a 9.
Wow.
Liam, you continue to reel in your fish harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. And eventually, your line comes up, and there you see a very small fish called a tiger barb wiggling on the edge of your hook. Apollyon, you're reeling and reeling and reeling and reeling and reeling as fast as you can. But as the hook rises above the water, there is nothing on it. The fish has slipped the hook.
Dang.
Hey, Gerbarb, go back to the oceans whence you came. It's not yet your time.
Okay. You guys all want to try again?
I want at least one more go, yeah.
Yeah, one more and I'm done.
Sure. Everybody go ahead and roll survival checks.
Why? I rolled a 5.
Yeah. Apollyon, you cast your line
Ooh, I
out.
rolled a 17.
You cast your line out and it drifts along you just sit there for an hour drifting along, and you're kind of more focused on the grassy plains out before you than you are on your hook itself. But in that time, nothing seems to bother you. Liam and Veil, both of you managed to snag fish on your hooks. So go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
15 again.
18.
Okay. Both of you now make for me athletics checks.
That just pushed past an 18 to a 2.
Liam, you're reeling in as hard as you can, as fast as you can, but your line snaps and you just feel that jerk as the fish breaks free. Veil, you
I got a
do
15.
manage. You do manage with your 15 to get your fish up into the air. And as you look down, what you see is a fish called a datnoid. It's a medium-sized fish, kind of bit of a tigery-looking fish, I believe. But it's an edible fish. Not a whole lot of meat on it, but it is edible.
Score. I gut that thing up and get it ready for eating.
And as you take it down into the galley to begin preparing your fish, kind of funny thought comes to your mind. I wonder if you could animate this. Yeah, probably not. But
Yes, he would definitely like a undead fish as a pet. That'd be nice if he had a place to store it.
that would be
Would you
kind of
keep
funny.
keep that in a bowl or something? Or I guess it doesn't need water anymore. Dude, what were those fish that fucking hung on the wall and sang songs and shit?
Billy Bob.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, big mouth bass.
Yeah. Keep the morale up.
Take me to the river.
No. But the day winds on, and eventually day turns to night, and eventually everyone settles in for a decent night's rest. So, who wants to take first watch for this evening?
I'll
I'll do
take first and second.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do first with Veil.
I'll do the last one.
Apollyon?
Uh,
I think that's the third
There's
for you.
Yeah.
third one for me. Okay, I got it.
Okay. So everyone all heads off to bed. Liam and Vale, you two sit down to share the first watch of the evening. Go ahead, both of you, make perception checks for me.
A 6. I was taking a drink of whiskey while I was looking. My bad.
Wow.
I've got a 3. I was also taking a drink of whiskey.
So we rolled a 2 and a 1. That's beautiful.
Now it's alright, guys.
Wow. So, the two of you leaning up against the railing of the ship, you're passing your flask of whiskey back and forth, drinking throughout the evening, laughing to yourselves, having a grand old time. And you imbibe quite a bit in those first 2 hours with the two of you passing them back and forth. The person who was piloting the ship while you guys were drinking is the Tabaxi, Cheeky Cloud. And you kind of all see her looking on in disgust at the two of you, and she just kind of shakes her head a little bit. You don't hear whatever it is she mutters, but you definitely saw her lips move. But the first 2 hours
I
of your
doubt I
watch,
care all that much.
but the first 2 hours of your watch go by relatively uneventful, and you don't see a goddamn thing. You're much more interested in that whiskey. But Liam, you head off to bed. Wobbling.
You know what, Vale? You're a pretty good guy.
I give you a nod and a smile and say, off to bed with you. I say, send Blood up here. I think he wanted second watch.
I'm last.
I'm next.
Yeah, but that's the last thing he told me, so...
Fuck.
And sure enough, Blood, you are aroused as Liam drunkenly steps in and begins shaking you, waking you up to tell you to go on next watch.
It's not my turn. I guess it's
How do you know you're sleeping?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
but I
You
know
probably
if
wouldn't.
he's waking me up, he was taking first watch. Fuck, I'll get up, yeah. Just
And Liam, you kind of tumble into your hammock, drunkenly beginning to snore almost immediately. And Blood, you go out on deck to see a rather tipsy Veil standing there on the edge of the railing.
I say, hey, how was your cat nap?
mm, I'm not supposed to be on watch yet, but I'm guessing it's a good thing I'm out here because you are not doing much good.
Hey, Liam left this for us, and I show him a bottle of whiskey that has a quarter of the contents left in it.
I don't drink anymore. I'm gonna let you handle that.
Suit, as Liam would say, suit yourself.
And he said he's leaning on the rail, or is he like up on it?
He's probably leaning against the side of it, sitting a little
Well,
bit.
is he in danger of going over? Does it look like?
Veil,
I wouldn't think so, but who knows?
I'm gonna say, you know what? Go ahead and just make a acrobatics check as you're kind of sitting there on the side of this railing.
Oh,
As
good.
Eloise reminded you, you breathe in
That's
water.
a 21.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You're sitting there, quite comfortable, not too worried about the edge over there.
I was about to throw down a sleight of hand check to tie a rope around him to the side so he doesn't fucking go down. But if he seems sturdy enough,
Now he seems sturdy enough.
he'll.
Nah, Drow can hold their liquor.
Yeah, we hold it in our bellies.
He'll just kind of start walking the perimeter of the boat. And you said Cheeky's still? Is she still out here?
No, Cheeky went off to bed. It is now the human Winu's turn.
Oh, the guy the big ass guy that goes
Yeah,
huge.
The guy that goes huge.
And Blood will just walk by and be like, "I'll keep an eye out. He is useless right now, so I'll make sure he gets some sleep."
Send the elf to bed so he doesn't tip over the side.
Yeah, I probably will go collect him and be like, "Hey, your watch is over. You did great. I'll
Go
take
ahead
over."
and make a deception check for me.
Oh god damn, he's a drow. He's gonna be fucking like proficient in that shit. Oh, 7.
Veil, go ahead and make an insight check.
Give me a disadvantage since he's drunk. Oh my god, he got a 10. It's so terrible.
10.
You can tell he's bullshitting you, but you know what? You're also kind of wobbling there, and bed doesn't seem to be too bad of an idea.
Just, I'll take over.
Yeah, I'm gonna go against my better judgment, and I want to stay up for this watch. I'm gonna stop drinking so I don't wake up with a hangover.
Okay. Well, Blood, go ahead and make a perception check. Veil, you make a perception check at disadvantage because you have been drinking.
Oh, that's a nat 20 with a 28. So I see colors. I can hear the colors.
That's
Yeah.
a 7.
Yeah, Blood. You know what? For tonight, the skies above looks like it's just an amazing Van Gogh style painting. You see the swirls of the colors around the stars in the sky, and you see the wind moving through the trees, and there's owls hooting in the distance, and there's quite a bit of animal chatter. With 28, you see everything. Rabbits running through the tall grass, foxes chasing after some mice or something. You can also see far, far in the distance to the northeast, just barely going past the moon. The moon, which is right now probably about half full. I think we're in that part of the month. But anyway, I digress. You can see a shape go across the moon in the distance. And it's big comparatively.
Oh, shit.
But it's also very far away, judging based on
Stay
what
away.
you see.
Yeah, no dragons tonight.
Go ahead and roll a survival check.
21, that's a really good roll. 19 on that roll.
The wings weren't the shape of a dragon. More like a bird.
Ooh, that's even worse. I don't want to fucking face a rock or whatever the hell shit's in the fucking Federation. This
Now,
probably could give him a little shudder.
I did say it was to the northeast, the mountains to
Oh,
the
okay,
northeast.
so it's on the other side. All right. Okay. Good. As I say, he doesn't know too much about that area. He's gonna see it's something huge and realize that he doesn't want to mess with it.
Yeah, you kind of pull out your map of the area, and you're looking at. You're basically right there, halfway between the second lake and Laverin. You're probably going to be reaching there tomorrow evening. You judge, and probably those mountains way there to the north of Laverin. That's about where you saw it.
And
look,
further
it's
to the
Crossroads
east
Inn.
of the mountains, it's Bradfordshire.
Hey, look, it's where we met at the Crossroads Inn.
Yep. Well, not all of us.
Well, yeah, you weren't there, but all right. Well, he'll take note of that, and he's writing everything down in his little wrist pocket journal, keeping a detailed account of their journey. So,
Indeed, you do. So, now that we are beginning the second day of oh wait a minute, no, you're still into your second watch. Sorry, you still have it is
I guess
third watch. Who is doing third watch? That was Apollyon.
All right, so I'm gonna go down to my room, my quarters, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I feel like I have, but I'm going to reassert control over my zombies in the portable hole. I feel like I've said this before, where so I don't have to say it every time. We'll just assume that's what I do if I have the spell slots for it.
Yeah, he's said that before.
Yeah, I'm fine with
Okay. All right, and then I'm going to go to bed.
You head off to bed. You cast your spell into your portable hole once again to control your zombie horde. The room you guys have been sharing was the captain's quarters. There is a single bed in one corner, and then a bunch of hammocks that's been strewn across the walls to give everyone a place to sleep. So you get into one of your hammocks and roll to one side, and eventually doze off. Blood, you go and wake up Apollyon and let him know it is his watch. You were supposed to take the fourth watch. Who's going to take the fourth watch?
I know. Blood will do that one.
Eloise will do it.
Yeah, but she's not here. She rolls something. We don't want to get her into a fight.
Well, Apollyon, go ahead and make your perception check for your part of the watch.
All right. That's a 4.
Oh.
Apollyon, you are tired. The day just kind of wore on you. It's kind of boring. And
lifting that anchor takes it out of you.
Yeah, you just kind of sit down on some crates, look out into the sky, and soon just fall right to sleep.
We're boned.
It was the halfling Ainsley who took up the wheel while for this goddamn.
There you go.
For this speck of the watch. And eventually she begins nudging you with the edge of a broom. And you awaken to see this little halfling pushing at your face with a broom. Behind her, you can see the captain staying at the wheel, looking down at you. Get the fuck to bed! You're a worthless. Falling asleep on the
Yep, guess I worked too hard. I need some sleep.
Let him go out for another watch.
Okay. You do go out for
He'll
another
just be
watch.
tired the next day.
Yep, you are going to be tired the next day and suffer a point of exhaustion for not getting your full sleep. But you do take one last watch, so go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Oh my god. Fuckers, it's a
And
nat 1 for
you
9.
are exhausted.
You know what's sad? It's a nat 1. And it's still better than anything Veil and Apollyon rolled.
That's true. That is true.
God damn
But
it.
sure enough, you are just exhausted and you're having a hard time stay awake. And even with the captain comes down and kicks you at one point to wake you up, you are just exhausted and they're having a hard time keeping focus. The evening wears on, and eventually all of you awaken once again. Blood, still exhausted from your evening's watch. But all of you come out once again, have a bit of breakfast, and the day is yours.
I'd like to do a little training with the old dwarf trainer fighter guy.
Absolutely, you can. Go ahead and make your athletics check.
Oof.
Ugh, rolling shit. That's a 5.
Yeah, a full day in the rain, all of you soaked constantly. It's wearing on you, and you're getting a bit of a cold, you feel like, Liam, as you're trying to work through the forms with your dwarven trainer. You're not getting it, and there's a few times that he smacks you in the side of you with his the side of his weapon to wake you up and get you focused again, but you're just having the toughest time in the world.
Can I make a second roll?
So whiskey.
It couldn't be any worse.
That's you guys all kind of settle in for the first part of your travel. So I'm going to need you guys to roll for the day. I'm going to need 2 people to roll d8s and 2 people to roll d20s.
I'll take a 20 this time.
I rolled an 8. I'm sorry, a 6 on a D8.
Yep, I need one more person to roll a d8.
Get him. Pull up the right fucking page. 7.
Okay.
God, don't fucking do that. That's
The day begins with another storm pushing in. The clouds that seem to drift away are back towards you with a northern wind once again, pushing back, and rain, a heavy rain with a light breeze begins to come in on your boat. You're all chilled to the bone once again as the storm just hammers down on your boat. Hold on a second.
I'm going to hole up in the captain's quarters and continue to read the book on the Orcish language.
Okay, you can absolutely do that. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check. Or actually, you can add your proficiency to that. So whatever intelligence skill you can use to add that.
It's a 22 with intelligence. If you want to add the proficiency, it'd be a 25.
Okay. Oh yeah. You sit down on the edge of the bed in the captain's chambers and pull out your book and begin to read it over. And it's just coming clear to you. The way the words work together, you're memorizing the same phrases over and over and over again, committing them into your memory. And you're getting the language pretty well. It's going to take you some time still, You still have some weeks ahead of reading, but it is definitely becoming more and more clear.
Excellent.
Okay. Fortunately, there's enough wind that the boat is able to continue on, and you all spend your day drenched as the boat continues on, heading east towards Laverin. Blood, since I know you like to stay to the front of the ship, why don't you go ahead and give me a perception check?
And you said I got a point of exhaustion,
Yes, you do.
so is it
So it's at disadvantage.
1 point? Yeah, I see.
Yeah, you're going to be rolling this at disadvantage. Ugh.
It's another nat 1. 9.
I'm gonna go up to the captain and just be all like, I need something to do. I'm freezing here. Give me something so I get moving again.
She looks you over and says, "You can man the lines. Hold them taut and firm, and keep the sail pointed into the wind. That way we can keep a good headway going." So you run down into the center of the boat, grabbing onto one of the lines of the sail, and you can see Winu on the other side doing the same. You grasp that line, holding it on for dear life. Go ahead and make an athletics check for me, please.
So many athletics checks. I need strength. Oh, God. It's a 2. I got a 4.
Yeah. You're pulling as hard as you can, and the rope just it's slick with the rain and everything, and you're a little bit hot, and your hands begin to sweat, and you feel the rope ripping through your hands, giving you rope burn along them. Go ahead and roll a d4. Taking 3 points of damage as this rope rips through your hand. The rope goes flying out from your grasp, and the side of the sail begins flapping in the breeze, pulling back. And Winu on the other side is holding on for dear life, and he's screaming, "Grab the rope! Grab the rope!"
Can I athletics check to go grab the rope?
Absolutely, you can.
There it is. 27.
Okay. You jump up onto the railing, reaching out, grabbing onto the rope, and you just brace yourself against the side of the rail, your heels digging backwards, you're leaning back a little bit as you're pulling on this rope, and you begin pulling it back onto the deck. You pull yourself back and you hold it. You wrap it around your arm a little bit, and you're pulling with all of your might. But it's slipping. Your feet are beginning to slip. Does anybody want to try to help him?
I'll run over there and help him.
Okay, Apollyon, you go running over. Give me an athletics check.
Okie dokie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
17.
You run over behind Liam, wrapping your muscular arms around him. You're both wet, glistening from the rain, and you just hug your body to his and begin pulling back as hard as you can, and holding him there, keeping the sail taut. And you catch the wind once again, and the boat lurches forward a little bit, and you're back on course.
You're squeezing me a little tight there, Polly.
I got you, buddy. I won't let you fly off into the wind.
No, not too tight. I can't breathe, buddy.
I
We're
want
leaving
fan art of this so bad.
Liam had a more comfortable look on his face when there was a dragon spraying stuff out and killing his friends. He was more calm in that scenario than he is with Apollyon and his rippling biceps around his shoulders.
There's definitely something rippling right there. But sure enough, you managed to hold fast the sails, the two of you together, in an almost titanic moment. The two of you are standing here, holding the rope. And the boat does lurch forward and continue on its course very well.
The perfect
One
pairing
gigantic
of
gay joke to you, isn't it?
Life is a joke, my friend. Life is a joke. But sure enough, you continue on for most of the day, keeping the sails going and keeping the boat going as far enough as you can. Eventually, as the night falls, Blood, go ahead and give me one more perception check. Still at disadvantage.
Gonna be great. Actually 17. Shit, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Okay, so you're looking out amongst the plains, and in the distance, you spot a small herd of deer running across the open grassy area. You kind of watch transfixed, looking at this, thinking to yourself, if only I could get that venison. You see the deer come.
Oh no, not more deer in the grassy area. Are we gonna get hypnotized?
What's that?
I said, not the deer in the grassy area. Are we gonna get hypnotized by him?
That's a different game, man.
Probably.
Oh.
But what does happen is you're watching this deer kind of hopping through the grass. They come to a little bit of a ravine. And you're all watching, transfixed by this, as this big group of odd-looking fish-like creatures come running up from the ravine, attacking these deer. You recognize these creatures as bullywogs. Odd, ugly-looking creatures. And they're jumping out of this ravine, spears drawn, and just savagely attack this herd of deer.
Veil kind of says to himself, but out loud, "Huh, good for them."
I'm sorry, I said they're fish creatures. They are frog
Like frogs.
creatures.
Yeah.
That was my mistake.
I thought you were talking about Kuatoa at first, and I was like, oh, they're cool.
Now these are frog-looking creatures. Amorphous, about 4 foot green creatures, wearing mostly leather skins and carrying stone spears. But they tear into this herd of deer.
Does it look like they are coming after us in any way, or is it just they're all over these deer?
They're just all over these deer.
No, they're just after the deer.
Yeah. Alright. I'm not too cared about that.
You guys rolled a random monster versus animal on the day roll. So just something you witnessed and choose to do something about it if you want to.
The old NPC versus NPC.
Basically, yeah. It was on the chart that I made you guys, and so yeah. Anyway.
Ah, yes, the plight of the bullywog. It's fun to watch them attack.
Eventually, the evening does progress on, and night begins to fall. You guys all sit down, have a nice meal, get yourselves ready for the evening's watch. Is there anything you guys want to do before you guys all head off to bed?
Nope. Just taking it in.
Okay. Then, who's taking first watch?
I'll do the first and second again. Sans the whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah. Blood's taking the last watch this time, so he can get his sleep.
Okay. So, Vale, go ahead and make your perception check for your first 2 watches. You sit down and
The first roll was a 6.
go ahead and make your second.
And the second was a 3. I guess I really wanted that whiskey.
Yeah. You're sitting down, relaxing, pretty much ignoring everything that's going on. You pull out your book, and you're kind of shading it in your cloak and reading more of your orc language book. And as you sit there, you kind of zone out from the world. But fortunately, there is the captain there, and the first 2 watches go by relatively uneventful. What the hell are you doing, Koines?
I'm looking for where the moon is with my Starfinder app.
We'll find out.
Oh, I got a nice.
Right.
I saw it rise. It was huge this morning or this evening.
Okay. But both
I
your
forgot my
watch-
camera's on. You guys crazy.
That's okay. It's all good. Your first 2 watches go by uneventful, Fail. And you go and wait. Who's taking third?
Hold on.
Okay, Apollyon. You take third watch. Go ahead and roll perception.
Oops. 17.
17. You're keeping watch. You're leaning over the side of the deck, looking out amongst the waves of the river and into the grassy lands beyond. And you do see something out there in the distance. Blood had seen before the shape of a bird going across the moon. And you see the same thing. And you're just looking out and you're marveling at how huge this thing is. Because it goes across the moon and leaves the silhouette, almost like the bat signal. The bat signal.
Wow. That's interesting.
Apart from that, your watch does go by relatively uneventfully. And in your watch, the rain finally begins to let up. Blood, I think.
Okay.
You're taking last.
Mhm.
Can Blood skip a watch and I take a watch since he's exhausted anyway?
Well, my exhaustion should go away now, since I slept.
Yeah, it is the last one.
Yeah, it is.
It's up to you guys.
I tell Blood,
Meh.
all's quiet, but there's some big birds flying around here.
Yeah, saw him last night. Kind of hope we don't run into it. So,
Didn't seem interested in us, as far as I
well,
could tell.
fucking huge. Regardless, we don't want any trouble with that thing.
go ahead and make your last perception check.
That's 21.
Now that Apollyon has gotten your attention, you look up to the moon, and sure enough, you can see it as well. It's hard to tell because it's such a big thing, but you do see every so often a bit of a shape dipping over into the moon, telling you that it is still out there.
It's there, yeah. And we're much closer, or are we still probably good distance away from it?
I mean, it's hard to tell, but it's not above you. It's not like directly above you. It's a decent ways away.
Hopefully it stays there.
But the rest of your watch goes by fairly smooth. And it is the start of a new day. You all wake up once again, see the day before you, and realize that by early this evening, your ship will be coming into the port of Laverin. So you all kind of sit there having breakfast and thinking about that. You have time to plan for that arrival, but as it is 8:30, we are going to go ahead and take our break for this evening. We will be back in about 10 minutes or so. So stay tuned, everybody. We will be here before long. Howdy, everybody. Welcome back to the Faab Five campaign. When we last left off, the Faab Five was slowly making their way down the river towards the port of Laverin. And finally, the last day of their journey is upon them. Before them, they have one long day's journey and will be arriving in the port, estimated late. Well, maybe not that late, but at least early evening. But so, Faab Five. Who wants to make the last roll of this journey to see what your day's going to be like? I'm going to need 2 people to roll d8s and 2 people to roll d20s.
I'll do a D8 again.
I'll do a 20.
That was a
Roll that 20.
Okay, I'm waiting for one more d20. Interesting. Okay. Your day begins with a clear and light breeze coming in from the west to the east, filling your sail and giving you a decent headwind as the ship begins to make its way down the river. You find your ship picking up speed and feel fairly confident with your journey forward. Who wants to make a perception check?
Definitely not Veil.
Oh, it was a 12. It wasn't that great.
You spend for the most of your morning gazing out into the river ahead. And late-ish in the morning, you spot a decent-sized vessel sailing on the river, coming towards you, heading west. You all kind of call attention, and everyone's watching. And as the ship comes towards you, closer and closer, you see a very lovely vessel, a little bit bigger than yours, somewhat ornately carved, with the statue of a mermaid on the front of the ship. As it draws near, it raises a flag, a red flag with a yellow X on it. And the captain calls out, "Merchant vessel ahead!" She calls out to raise a flag as well, and a flag rises up, which you all recognize to be the symbol of the Dwarven, the Dawson Empire, the Dwarven hegemony, which you guys have been in for quite a bit. Anyway. As the vessel draws closer, you do hear shouts come out. "Ahoy there! Identify yourself!" And you hear the captain calling back, naming the ship and their destination. The merchant vessel calls back that they are the Fair Trade, a merchant vessel heading to Valena and on their way to Port Suliard. The closer you guys get to each other, your vessel kind of moves a little bit to one side, theirs to the other, to allow the two of you to pass. And as you do, you're all kind of watching out among the ship as it passes. Go ahead and give me a perception check. Give two people. Give me perception checks.
S01E12.
14 for blood.
You can see some of the sailors on the ship, though it is a little bit taller than you. So you are still having a hard time getting a very good angle. They do seem nervous and kind of jittery, and they're watching you with more than your usual interest, I would say.
I'd like to roll an insight, see if they're nervous. Never mind, that's just a 7. I can't tell much.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. You don't deal with a lot of people like this.
They seem like they're clutching their weapons.
You don't see them clutching weapons, but you can only really get a good view of them from shoulders up. However, they are definitely watching you and seem wary. Almost as though they're just watching to make sure you're not going to attack.
Okay.
Blood ain't gonna attack him. I mean, he's gonna have probably his weapon close by, but he's not gonna attack him unless attacked first.
Shame they didn't get a better insight. That ship
Or the captain says attack, then he definitely will attack.
Boy, we're not pirates. But we're not interested in buying anything anyway, so have a good one.
Okay. The two ships do eventually pass, and all of you kind of watch as they're watching you as the ships drift apart. Their ship was being rowed by oars, whereas yours is using your sails. And so you didn't really get a good look at anybody inside, but the people on deck were it was, I don't know, there's something about it that you can't quite put your finger on, but You definitely can tell that they're watching as you do drift apart. However, the farther eventually you do drift apart, and the ships eventually disappear from view.
Wonder if they know something that we're coming up on. They had to know either who we are or this ship is. We don't know much about our captain.
Son of a bitch! They probably had whiskey to sell. Hey.
Well, you never asked, so you'll never know. But you guys do progress on, and as the day winds on towards evening, Blood, a voice rings out in your head, a familiar one. It has only a handful of words. What's your ETA already?
Would Blood know we're probably pulling up soon? Or will you have to ask?
I think it was tomorrow evening. Is that what you said it'd be? Or
No, we said this evening you should be there.
I said this evening you'll be there.
Oh, this evening.
Just stay back. When we get there, psh, you're not my fucking mom.
Well, I guess depending on if he could, I guess, where is it, mid-afternoon, lady, or getting towards the evening?
It's getting towards the evening. You have maybe a few hours left, you would know.
We should be pulling into the port inside of a couple hours here. Had some bad weather.
And it kind of cuts off after had some.
Well, I didn't say 25 words, yeah.
I was counting there. I think I got it.
Well, I was actually asking, I was like, do we know what time of day it is?
Yeah, I didn't count any of that.
Okay.
I counted when you started. It's 25 words. It's a sentence. Anyway. As the boat eventually makes its way down the river, as night begins to fall, you can begin to make out the lights of the port town of Valletta coming into view. It's been a long and exhausting journey, but one that made at least a little bit profitable by all of the creatures you happen to come across. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Blood can keep doing them if nobody wants to. Oh, look at that.
I have a plus 0. 20, baby.
Yeah. With that nat 20, you're looking out into the sky, up at the moon as it's beginning to rise up. And sure enough, once again, you see that same bird shape.
God damn it.
Flying around the mountains to almost perfectly to the north of you as your ship draws closer and closer to the harbor.
With my 20 perception score, can I tell what type of creature it is?
You're seeing a silhouette in the moonlight. You can tell it is very large. I'll let you make a survival check to see if you can guess what that might be. Perhaps you've heard of a creature.
Oops.
With a
Nope,
3,
I rolled a
you're not
6.
sure. Yeah. With your 6, you're not sure. You've never heard of any type of big birds like that. And that's what it is, a big bird, as far as you can tell. It's hard to tell, though, because it is at a distance. It's miles away, based on what you're judging with your nat 20. But it's out there to the north. But you all make your way up onto the foredeck and watch as the port town of Valletta does slowly start to come into view.
Not Valletta.
Sorry, Laverin.
We went the wrong way.
You went the wrong way. You're back where you come. It's 4 more sessions full of this shit. No. But sure enough, you do come into the port of Valletta. It takes a little bit of time, and as the ship finally docks in what is, let me see here, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys, do I have the map? Yes, I do. Darn it. I forgot to turn the map. I'll fix that the next time, but I'll show you guys the same way. Just imagine that the river goes west to east, and you'll get the idea. But looking at the map, you do progress along the river until it comes to the dock side, a little bit there towards the far edge of the map. And as you do dock, you can see a wide and quite lively port town before you. You can hear sounds of singing, the clang of a very large village, and actually I have some music here that I can put on. There we go. You all come slowly into the port and dock at last. And as the gangplank is lowered, you all step off into the town of Laverin. Goddamn. Laverin. You're all looking around and you see a bright and lively port town. Very large, very active, and all seemingly made of this unique white stone. All around you, you see buildings made of granite and marble. Tall stone buildings, as far as the eye can see. And it is an impressive place. Merchants seem to be going to and fro from everywhere. And even at this hour, it's probably around 7-ish in the evening, Veil. There's a hustle and bustle to this place. So, Faab Five, as you stand on the docks, what would you guys like to do?
We better run into Tomas.
Yeah, but the message that he sent to, he didn't really give us a location, did he?
No. Just said we'd meet him here.
He said to meet him at the docks?
Well, here in, I mean, unless we've got like all that information, we have like the satchel and shit for him. If there's,
I suppose we could search the entire city, but there's probably a better way. Can I just stand there with a sign like at the airport that says Tomas?
You can certainly try.
No, I don't want to draw that much attention.
Is there a conclave location here?
Make a history check.
Yeah, fucking shit. Yeah, that's a nat 1 for 3.
Yeah, you have no idea. You can ask around.
Yeah, somebody with good charisma, persuasion check. So find someone at the dock and start asking.
$18 for persuasion. I ask around the docks if there's what's it called?
Halfling.
I'm not looking for the halfling. We're looking for
the conclave.
Conclave. Yeah.
Erudite conclave.
Okay, so you walk up to an elderly human who happens to be walking along, leading a mule, and you call out to him asking if there's an Iridet conclave here. He kind of scratches his head a little bit. I'm afraid I don't... What is a conclave?
You see, they'd be more of, not quite law officials, but they would investigate big goings-ons. Is there anyone who does a lot of investigation around here?
Well, the mayor is Lady Edwin. She has plenty of guards who investigate things. Perhaps you should try them.
Yeah, perhaps I should. You have a great day now. Oh, that was a dead end.
So I see you guys all kind of just standing there at the edge of the dock, not quite sure what to do.
Yeah, because I don't remember where we're supposed to meet him.
Well, fortunately,
I'll fully admit.
what you guys were supposed to do
At the dock.
And as you kind of stand there for about 20 or 30 minutes, kind of just looking around, not sure where to proceed, you see a gnome walk up to you. And he just kind of puts his hands on his waist and stares up and down at Apollyon for a few minutes.
Can I help you, sir?
Nothing out of the ordinary yet.
I see you've got bigger than the last time I saw you.
It's him. It's
You
him.
know it, baby. And he like kisses his muscles. And he goes, "Wait, who are you?"
Never mind. Follow me.
He's gonna take us where we need to go. Better, or he's gonna die.
The gnome
Whoa.
kind of watches you all for a second. As you guys were standing there, the chest that the Conclave had left with you on board is brought down by the sailors on the ship, and are dropped down onto the dock next to you.
Well,
Tomas, we got the package before we take off and, get to the goings-ons. Do you want us to carry this? It's rather large.
Yeah, you carry that. That's more your speed.
Sure, I'll sling it over his shoulder, hand him the note, and start following him.
So wait, this gnome is Tomas?
no, he's the halfling.
This is Tomas, yes.
Well, that's why I'm confused.
Yeah,
I thought he was a half.
you're right. Tomas is a halfling, and this is not a halfling. This is a gnomish man. Graying hair, wrinkled face, wearing a green tabard over a blue pair of pants. But he did walk up to you as though he knew you. Gave you orders and then began walking away.
Yeah, I start
excuse me.
following him. I'm still pretty sure it's Tomas.
Who exactly are you?
Later. Just follow me. And he leads you all towards a nearby inn, which you guys, as you walk towards, you see a very run-down looking inn with a blue sign hanging from the front of it that says "A Sword of Ice." The Sword of Ice, sorry. It's a bit of a neglected looking place, a little dingy even with the white stone that makes up the building itself. And the odd thing is the two double doors in the front are huge, massive wrought iron wooden doors that kind of remind you of a dungeon a little bit. But the gnome, pushes his way through and walks into the bar itself.
Yeah, I walk straight in.
You all quickly are following the gnome, and as you all make your way in, you do see a very lively. Here, I'll kind of move you in. Anyway, you all make your way into the inn, and the gnome very quickly just walks around the tables and makes his way up to the second floor. You all make your way up as well, and as you do, you find yourselves in the second floor of... Second? You are all eventually led upstairs to a second floor, where the gnome leads you through the main chamber to a southernmost door, which he opens and leads you all inside to a large table with quite a few chairs strewn about around it. The gnome closes the door as all of you all make your way inside. And once the door is closed, he turns and you begin to see a shimmer go about his body as he changes from his gnomish form to the more familiar halfling that is Tomas Roth.
I think you fooled most of my friends. But I could see your nose is exactly the same.
I knew all along.
Oh my! I've never seen such a thing.
I figured you'd figure it out. Who else is going to come up?
Tomfoolery.
It's good to see y'all again. When I heard that it was you who was joining me, I let out a bit of a chuckle, I'm not gonna lie. Seems y'all decided to join up after all. And I heard about what you did in the Druid's Grove. My condolences to you, Eloise. I know you were looking forward to seeing them. But what's done is done. All we can do now is deal with the task at hand. I assume y'all have a package for me?
Yeah, I'll hand over the package.
You hand over the chest, and he opens it up, pulling out the cloak, examining it for a moment before setting it aside. Pulls out the rod, gives it a brief inspection before setting it aside as well. He does this with each of the things. The ruby in the bag. The notes he opens up, thumbs through it for a moment, and closes once again. Sets that down. I assume y'all want to know exactly what it is we're doing here.
Wait 1 second. Take notes. And pop the notebook out and write down delivered package. And then notes go back. And that's it. Now we can proceed.
Fair enough. Well, I suppose I should begin at the beginning. I had followed the Dream Witness army. I head back to their army encampment, and I followed the trail out over the river to the keep Brandivine. Grovagar was there for quite some time before he sent out his body companions and what I counted was of 6 wagons. Fortunately, I used that time to sneak in myself, and I was able to find some papers that told me of a group of initiates of the Dreamer who are to be taken to the Dream Witness. 1 second, while I pull out this note. Don't you hate it when your note won't open?
Yup.
Anyway, sorry about that. The letter indicated that the ones being sent for initiation of the Dream Witness was being sent to a man named Rio Seidman, who is a merchant here in Laverin. This man, from what I've been able to gather, is a stone merchant here, who has a mansion about 8 miles northeast of the city. I've been able to ascertain here in Laverin that it's no secret where this man lives, and that he holds great banquets all the time for pleasure and sport. And I suspect he uses these to bring these initiates to the Dream Witness. You have any questions so far?
No, I'm with you so far.
Do you know if one
What
of
happens
these,
to the initiates that go to the Dream Witness?
I'm going to go Apollyon first. You asked, do we know what happens to the initiates?
Yep.
Sorry. All we know is that when the Dream Witnesses meets with the initiates, their devotion to the Dreamer becomes absolute. Fortunately, we do not know anything more about them, who this Dream Witness is, what they are. All we know for sure is that it is dangerous. And whatever they do, the people come back changed.
and is one of these banquets happening soon?
Indeed they are. And that's why I called for backup and assistance. Unfortunately, you all took a little longer than I was hoping. The banquet is tomorrow, and we have very little time. However, I was able to make contact with an individual inside his manor. He said for a fee, he will get us inside during this banquet. The price is this right here. He holds up that ruby in the back.
You're sure you can trust the guy?
I'm not sure if you've been paying attention to what the Army's aware of, but they're pretty well aware of all of our faces right now, as well as yours.
Well, it's a good thing that I can disguise myself. As for the rest of you, well, I have a couple ideas. And I'm sure you can think of the ways yourself. But no matter what, we know that initiates of the Dreamer will be coming through tomorrow. Our plan is simple. We must find out who this dream witness is, what it is, what it intends to do, what its purpose for these cultists are. This is the opportunity I have found. But if you have any other suggestions, I'm all ears, boys and girls.
Okay, I'm guessing we need to do this as quiet as possible, correct?
I'd prefer them not to know at all, yeah.
And I'm assuming your plan isn't to infiltrate as these dream initiates. It's some other form.
Well, I was thinking maybe something more along the line of the help. Is who pays attention to the help?
Well, I do
Only
have
trouble
plenty
is
of...
big man there.
Yeah.
I don't like being referred to as the help.
You stand out, buddy.
Hey, he stands out. But if he were part of the muscle, part of the security, he'd fit right in.
That's not what I'm saying when he stands out. I mean, he is a giant red minotaur. I mean, it's kind of hard to... I mean, they're probably looking for something like that. Can we... do anybody know any kind of magic to alter what he looks like?
Yes, I actually do.
Well, that's great.
But I'll tell you right now, there's no way I'm going to be the help.
Did you have something else in mind that you'd prefer to be in this fake situation?
We could be visiting dignitaries.
From where?
Down under.
And why?
I believe the idea is to go unnoticed, not to announce ourselves as the most important people in the room.
Huh. Well, that's the type of life that suits me. Y'all can sneak around if you want to.
Now, I can change my appearance, but I'm still small, so can't do a whole lot.
Maybe Apollyon should be the lookout on the outside.
I couldn't make you invisible.
Can be.
But that's rough. It only lasts for an hour.
He still has to avoid people. He's kind of big. I mean, I plan on putting a lot of different colors in my fur. At least change most of what I look like.
Yeah, Vale, I've been meaning to say this. You stick out like a sore thumb absolutely everywhere we go. You may have to change your skin color or everyone will stare.
Vale just kind of looks at him with narrowed eyes and agrees, kind of shrugs it off.
I mean, how many people can you change at one time? I don't know magic, so I can't.
Well, usually higher level spells do it more. I don't know what level spell is required to do that, but if Apollyon's the lookout on the outside, what did Vale want to be if he's not the help?
But he's not that great of a lookout.
Yeah, he hasn't really thought that much ahead. He just knows that he would not appreciate being the help. He will if he has to, but it's not going to be. He's not going to be the best help. Put it that way.
Allow me to interject. My suggestion was to dress like the help and to move around, pretending to be the help, but only to get inside. Once we are past, and in the area, in the mansion, we will drop our disguises and head inward, looking for the stream witness or any information about it. We are not meant to stand out there and just help sell or give people drinks. I did not learn that.
Vale nods and he says, "That sounds like a plan, but I'm not hanging anyone's coat."
I have to talk about that later, buddy. You got some hang-ups, but yeah, no, don't worry.
If anyone makes you hang up their coat, I'll hang it up for you. That's not the problem.
That sounds good to me then.
I do believe we have a potion that might actually help Apollyon. Didn't we have a potion of diminution? One of those little shrink you down?
Do you?
How long would it last, though?
I think we got a potion of diminution. I don't know how long that lasts. I think it's probably only an hour. Let's see if yep. No, 1d4 hours, no concentration required. So it could be all the way up to 4 hours.
Well, does he want to be small for that long?
I mean, it would.
Nah, I'd rather be big and be able to jump in when I'm needed.
Well, this only has the reduce and large effect.
So if you drink,
That's what I'm saying.
So
if you drink,
you'll be small for 1d4 hours. It's not something you can change. You can't make the decision. You just have to wait for it to wear off.
Let me put this. Right, how exactly small would he be? Because I got an idea.
Like child size.
Could he piggyback ride like fucking Yoda style on Blood's back, and he toss his cloak over them, and be able to still get his benefit to advantage on stealth checks?
Okay, so it's basically the reduce spell. So large reduce. So what reduce says is the target size is halved in all dimensions, and its weight is reduced to 1/8 of normal. This reduction decreases its size by one category, from medium to small, for example, until the spell ends. So basically, he would be Tomas's size.
He's not an action figure.
I'm not saying he'd be that small. I'm just saying he'd be small.
nah, Apollyon doesn't want to get small. He'll stay big and strong.
I've been wanting to do that in my other game because we got a goblin and he won't let me do it. So that's why I brought it up.
Nobody's ever gonna let you do that. That's mean.
I think it'd be fun to try it all. Well, we need to change your look, buddy. I get don't want to go small, but I stand out. They know me probably in a lot of these places, but they definitely know you. So we have to deal with.
Why do you think everyone knows you, Blood? I'm kind of confused.
We're in the Federation now, aren't we?
We are?
Well, let's just say I kind of got in some trouble breaking that one out of a gladiatorial prison camp. So we are kind of known in the Federation.
Let's just say, I think this is a big place, and you think you're more popular than you actually are.
Oh, trust me, it's not popularity I'm worried about. There was, and I told you this, there was a contract on both me and Apollyon in the Federation, and then mysteriously it disappeared. So someone paid it.
There you go. Nothing to worry about then.
You don't know how these things work, do you? I used to carry
Well,
out
I
those
know that if
contracts
there's
on
a
people.
contract, and then there's no more contract, then it's all set.
It's not exactly.
The Federation is a big place, Blood. And
Well, there are syndicate people everywhere.
Laverin is also a big place. Sure, there are syndicate people around.
Not to mention, the Dreamers kind of have it in for us. Let's remember that too.
Which is why we're going in disguise.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody's going
is
to be
a giant red
expecting
minotaur.
us being there. There's millions of minotaurs.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Alright, how about also this? He can't stop screaming his fucking name every time he walks into a new building.
Apollyon,
Maybe we'll have to have a talk with him.
I've been with him for 8 months now. It doesn't work. I've tried.
A lookout isn't a horrible idea. You are kind of big, Apollyon, but if you want to go in, we can disguise you too. At least a little bit.
Change his color. Maybe. I was gonna say, if he really wanted to do a lookout, and I would prefer he be with us, because he swings pretty hard. But if we have to go the lookout route, he could probably use those goggles, Mr. Veil.
It's settled. He comes with us.
Okay. What goggles are you talking about?
Goggles of night.
They give you an extra 30 feet of dark vision.
Oh,
At night.
okay. Cool.
Rothan opens up the folder in front of him and kind of flips through the pages a little bit and pulls out a reasonable looking sketch of the mansion, which I will give you guys next
Ooh.
week.
Oh, you gotta make it.
Yeah. I'm gonna
I
have
was
to
like, ooh.
make it because I had a folder saved on my computer. And
Oh, the fuck.
it's gone. I don't know where the hell it is. So
Yeah.
and I save everything in the same fucking folder for your group. So it's like.
So I'm guessing that'll have like all like number of entrances and things like that.
Just have to wait and see.
Well, how about I guess does Tomas know all of this information, or was this something the Conclave sent?
As I said, he opens up the folder and begins going through this. The folder
Okay.
that you guys never looked through, as you're looking through it now, is information about the merchant, about the mansion itself. It's and everything that the Conclave knows.
All right.
And there is a bit that I can give you. The individual, as I said, his name is Ryok Segman. and he is a merchant of both marble and granite who works here in Laverin. The Conclave also reports that the goods he trades in are used to fund the activities of the local syndicate here in Laverin. He is, like I said, primarily a stone merchant who trades all up and down the river there, going out of Laverin. He also deals in illicit goods and black market items. The folder informs you all. He has a large villa about 8 miles northeast of the end of the town, looking out over the river itself. He has one consort who is always with him, a woman named Trasha. But other than her name,
Trasha.
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 Trasha. Trasha.
So it's like Marsha, but with
Yeah.
T. Yeah, okay.
This, other than her name, however, the Conclave doesn't know anything about her. It does also say that beyond living for pleasure and sport, Trasha does apparently assist Ryok in his business and seems to be some type of aid to him. Ryok throws very large masqueraded parties from time to time here in town, and as I said, is one tomorrow.
The banquet is it a?
It is a masquerade party.
There we go, Apollyon. Blood's gonna see that. He goes,
Okay,
"Oh, buddy, we're dressing you up. Yeah, you're gonna look good, brother."
Carnival.
There we go. That's right there. That's how we disguise him.
The villa, the notes describe as a place built like a fortress. Foundations of stone make up the most of this brick building. All of the windows are barred. And over the front door, there is a huge wooden placard with a spear and going through a boar painted in red on top, which is Ryok Segman's symbol. The man himself is a sweaty, fat man who tends to wear very opulent silk robes. And with, as I said, the speared boar is his sigil that he wears pretty much on everything. The woman, Trasha, whatever it is. Trasha. Very little is known beyond that. A rough description of a blonde-haired, middle-aged woman is given, but apart from that, there's really nothing else on her by the Conclave.
With Blood Syndicate background, is any of this information, like the symbol, the name, would he recognize any of this from his time in the underground?
Go ahead and make a history check.
That's a 15.
You know that he does deal in black market goods for the Syndicate. You've heard his name before. You've never interacted with anybody directly from him, but he is known as a black market goods dealer who sends quite a bit of relics
Tribute?
relics that he secures through trade down to the Syndicate itself. He's a bit of a collector for the Cerulean Syndicate.
Ooh, maybe that could be a way in. We do have a few relics of the Dreama that we have collected. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm not saying it's even something to get us in, but it's a possibility. And he'll detail how he goes, this guy always sending a lot of relics down the river towards the Syndicate. It's kind of his thing. I mean, it's a possibility. Those things might come in handy. We're not going to ever need them. It's just an idea.
True.
It's just an...
Well, I understand the purpose, but we've already got to weigh in.
I mean, push comes to shove, it could be something we could use. If we get trapped or hung up or we need to devise another way out. I mean, if he is involved in both the Syndicate and the Dreamer Army, I mean, I can only hope that the Syndicate at large is not involved, and that this man is just kind of double dipping and even betraying the Syndicate by getting involved with these people. But I never knew about them before we started really running into them. I only had the histories that my brother and I found. So I'm just hoping the Syndicate isn't more further involved, or we are in trouble.
But you don't have a contract out for you, so why would the Syndicate even give a shit?
No, I'm talking about the Syndicate and the Dreamer Army.
The Dreamer?
This man is involved in both. If he is an aberration, as in he is the only one a part of the Syndicate that's involved, which I seriously doubt, there's got to be others. But if the Syndicate at large is involved with the Dreamer Army, things are going to be a bit more complicated, especially in the Federation.
It's quite a leap. He's just a war prophet.
I hope. I hope.
I have had similar thoughts. I have not been alive when Tomas speaks of. And that's why it's so important that we find out what exactly is the connection. If, like you said, he is working for the Dreamer cult, or we know he is, if the Cerulean Syndicate is, that's a much bigger army than anything we can handle.
They are in every city, in every empire. They've already laid the groundwork to take down everybody. They have soldiers on the ground already. We have to hope and pray that is not the case. And I'm happy to be home, so to speak, but I'm also not happy to be home. I left for a reason. But yeah, if he's involved in any way, we have to find out. I mean, I'm all for, actually, if push comes to shove. I don't know if this would screw up a contract. I'm all for killing Syndicate members. Especially high-ranking ones. Not saying that's a good idea, but just saying. I'm not going to be upset if we have to kill him to get out of this.
Well, we don't exactly have to put their heads into our bag, but it's not off the table.
I would actually suggest not taking their heads. These are the ones...
That's what I just said.
No, I mean, not even collecting them for the money's sake. This is money I am more than willing to let go.
That's what I just said.
But he's looking over the other corner of the table. The white-skinned maniac in the corner. It's like, we don't need to take Syndicate heads.
Probably not a good idea. I have to.
They won't take kindly. We'll get you other heads, I promise. And he just looks at Veil. So.
Veil, basically what he heard was, we need to take Syndicate heads.
Shit, you fucking bastard. Goddamn trowel!
But he'll also He nods to you and he says, "I'll wait for your cue."
No, you won't.
He just always goes, I totally understand.
Like when no means
Yes.
yes, that's all he
I
hears.
I read what you're saying, and he kind of says,
No need to
I'll wait.
confirm
I'll wait for your
loud. We're
signal."
thinking the same thing.
Shit. All right. So this, do we know how big this party is going to be tomorrow, or is there more than locals, or are there other people coming in? Is that information you've been able to gather?
As near as I can tell, quite a few people are coming to this party. A lot of locals. And I did hear one of their guards saying that someone was coming in from the west. A convoy, a new group is what they said. I suspect it's a new group of initiates.
Of initiates. Okay. Because for a second there, the hairs on the back of my neck was standing up. I was hoping no leadership was coming.
Fortunately, we don't know much of the leadership beyond Grovagar. We know they have contacts everywhere. We know they have people pretty much everywhere.
I guess he'll take a few minutes to detail the bard. You know, the meeting with the bard and how much it rattled him that he was able to like the whole restaurant. Everybody was fucking a dreamer. And saying it's like, yeah, that little bastard. He's been following us for a while, apparently.
He did tell you they were legion.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary to wonder how many people are actually followers of this dreamer. Are they a part of every town?
It's maybe. I mean, if they're syndicate, they definitely are. But that could be another way in. If this man is double dipping and the syndicate is not involved. I mean, as much as I do not want to go to that gladiator tournament, Apollyon, if you could win that and we could actually meet the leader of the Federation, who is also by chance the leader of the fucking syndicate, we might be able to turn them. And they could be a militia army against the Dreamer. Now, that is a massive if, and that is a pipe dream upon a pipe dream, but they would be a huge asset in that war.
Apollyon, the idea of that tournament does sound juicy. It's hard to deny that.
Yeah. I don't want to miss my chance to compete. Got to win my belt back.
And I've got at least one friend, probably a few I could probably call upon in the syndicate that could help us in that situation. But we would be very outnumbered in that city.
Tomas kind of peeks his ears up when you mentioned this tournament. What's that tournament you said?
I guess, do we have that? We have that flyer, right? He gave us a flyer.
Yeah, he gave you a flyer.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if I probably didn't keep it. Well, I mean, if Blood has it in his bag, he'll pull it out and put it on the table and just tell him. He's like, he goes, yeah, the prize wasn't it one like favor? Do we?
You do have it. It's in your handouts.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm trying to. There's so many freaking different handouts right now. Train Witness the Azure Championship, yeah. Yeah, the winner gets to be crowned the Grand Champion and allowed to make one request of Zahim. You know, of the Zahim, which is the leader of the Federation.
Tomas kind of scratches his chin a little bit. You don't say.
I mean, it seems like this is something that was planned, and I cannot imagine that the Grovajar set this up for Apollyon specifically. But he said he will be there.
It's interesting that you're bringing this up. There's one other piece of information I found while I was in Ranivika.
It ties into this tournament, or it ties into Grovajar?
I'll Ruun Maharin, the leader of the Federation. He has a relic. He has a dream root.
Ooh.
I found a letter suggesting as much when I was in that keep. I was planning on heading back to Galena and setting up an expedition to find that one. But if you're saying this championship is allowed to make a request,
We could request the dream root, and that is probably exactly what Grovejaw is doing.
it does seem to fit the facts.
Apollyon, I am not saying you should or should not do this. For you and I both, it is dangerous for us to go back. Regardless of what these naysayers say, fucking contracts from the Federation do not just disappear. But
Yes, indeed.
this is huge, buddy. I mean, I will be there every step of the way with you if you want to go. I'm not going to let you go alone. You and I have been in this for a while together now.
That's right. I will not let Grovy Bear, as cute as he is, will not let him bring shame upon my name. I will have my belt back.
So, I mean, I will do what I can from the outside to make sure you stay alive inside. Maybe I can figure out exactly what's going on there too, but they gotta think it's gonna be crawling with dreamers. The entire fucking tournament.
If you're planning on going to fight for the dream root, the more of you that fight, the better chances of one of you winning.
Well, I am not a fighter.
But just out of curiosity, if we don't ask for the dream root and we ask for something else, doesn't it just stay with the highest ranking guy in the best protected place in the entire area?
But the problem is, what if they are involved with the army already? I mean, that.
But then they're gonna give it to him anyhow. It won't even be up for asking.
Well, the title, it's really not a person. It's a title. I mean, that is the name that is given to every leader of the syndicate, or the Federation, but they are one and the same. So who knows what will happen to it? But I mean, I guess you could ask for something else. Do you have something in mind?
No, I'm just thinking, is it safer in our hands or where it is right now where they don't have access to it?
I would rather have hands on it.
Yeah, that
do
worked
nothing.
so well last time we had one on our hands.
We kept it, didn't we?
And we gave it away as soon as we could.
Is that something you really want to hold on to, kid? Tomas kind of chuckles as he looks at you.
I'm still interested in stealing the one we lost.
Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't find any writing about where it's ended up. All we know for sure is what you told us. That someone in robes took it from Grovagar and disappeared.
Maybe they came to the witness.
Stranger things has happened.
Or maybe they took it and gave it to the leader of the Federation.
Then why would they do that?
I'm just playing devil's advocate here, sir.
I suppose we
He's trying to blame everything on the leader of the organization now.
We'll just say more people have died because that man has said so than probably any other.
Well, we have until the morning to decide, but we do need to decide how we're going to infiltrate this manor.
Yeah, once we can look at the floor plan, should be able to figure out a good way in.
I can dress up like a servant, that's no problem.
Well, we got to find out what their servants are dressed as, too. We get those uniforms.
You take one down, same size as me. I take his costume. No problem.
Well, what about Apollyon? He's gonna need a little bit bigger.
I'm only worried about mine. I'm not worried about the Apollyons.
Thought I was gonna be the lookout.
Well, I'd rather if something goes wrong. I mean, as much as a lookout would be beneficial, we're probably gonna need you inside. Let's face it. When has anything gone that smoothly for us? Never?
Well, you did say this party is for some fancy folks, didn't you?
Well, it is a masquerade party, so yeah, we could make you the belle of the ball.
Oh, goody.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I did not mean to put that in your head. All right, we will make you look fantastic, but not so fantastic that everybody is going to just absolutely have to know who you are. You need to be amazing, but also forgettable at the same time.
Oh, but I will act so coy with my mask and tell them, "Oh, you already know me, but I won't tell you my name."
Hey, have you noticed how Liam changes his voice?
Are you sure you don't
Can you
want
do
him as
that?
lookout?
Let's just say it. Would you not rather have that big fucking double-handed axe with you? Or with, I would rather have it on, Can you change your voice? Can you do a character? And not the Golden Boy. Somebody different. Like, like the Silver Man or something,
Well, yes, I reckon that I can. I could real smooth like this.
Well, that's good. You need to keep that. Yeah, but how about this? If somebody starts getting you excited, are you all of a sudden going to be busting out if you smell?
I'm gonna whoop a can of whoop ass on that jabroni. You better believe it.
That's what I'm talking about. Does anybody? I've heard of that spell, Calm Emotions. Can anybody put that on him before we go inside so he is just chill as fuck?
Nye.
I think Mr. Veil might have some kind of herbs for that.
Oh shit, we have a fucking. Now he will have air for at least 10 minutes. Just go with me here. Mr. Veil has a portable hole. We can hide Apollyon in the portable hole.
Oh, snap.
I don't like that idea one
Mr.
bit.
Veil's finger was in there.
First of
Well, that
all,
won't hurt you.
the hole's not yours. The hole's Veil's. Let's get
That's
that
the thing.
straight.
Put him in it.
You need to ask Veil's permission before you make any plans with his hole. I would only ask the same of any of my stuff.
Any of your holes.
You only said that so you can make that fucking joke. You don't actually care. God damn you, Kyle. Hey, he's from the underground. I'm sure he's probably into some kinky shit. He doesn't mind who's in his hole or not.
We came from a land down under.
But yeah, as
Speak
soon
for
as we can see
yourself,
that
Cat.
floor plan, we can figure out the route. I mean, how much do you know about the inside? How much have you been able to find out?
I'm actually making you guys do that right now.
Sweet. And we don't know what the Dream Witness looks like yet, so it could be anybody. Guys, can anybody do Heroes Feast yet? So we have wisdom saves per, advantage on wisdom saves? Because I have a feeling we're going to need that.
Piss off. You know we don't.
Well, fuck. Well, I guess only clerics and druids can get that spell, can't they? And she's not high enough.
And a gem-encrusted bowl worth 10,000 gold or something like that.
1,000, but still, she's not. I don't think she's a high enough level. I think it's a
Speaking
7th
of which,
level spell.
Level up.
Already? He's not gonna fall for that one.
You defeated a bunch of monsters. I don't know.
We did like 2 sessions ago. Just level to 7.
Yeah, you did just a few 7. Level to 7.
I like the initiative, but it's
Nope, but if you really want to know, when you walk away from the Dream Witness and the mission is complete, that's when you're going to level to 8.
Affirmative.
this is someone that Blood wanted to.
Can I get a quick recap? Sorry, I've been in and out a little bit. What is our end goal of this soiree? Just to discover who the Dream Witness is?
I think it's just basic
Find
in and out. Yeah.
to find out any information about the Dream Witness, to find out how the cult is working with this man, whether or not the syndicate itself is working with him, or if it's just him, what they do to the initiates when they arrive, and where they go from there. Basically, you're trying to find out any information about the cult whatsoever, and especially about the Dream Witness.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, because that was the person. If we had gotten out of the camp before our bard fucked us, this is who we would have come and seen this person already, or been on our way. Who knows if we would have actually got there. All right.
Uploading a map.
Sweet.
So, what Tomas does pull out is a hand-sketched small map that seems to indicate a 2-storied villa, a front gardens, a small pool to one side, a few buildings with dining room and kitchen, and a second story as well, indicating bedrooms, sitting rooms, guard rooms, that sort of thing. It's a fairly detailed blueprint that they have designed, which gives you a little information about the mansion that you're going to be going into. You can see there the ballroom, which is where the masquerade will no doubt be, the foyer that leads into it, the outer gardens, and where guard rooms are, so on and so forth. It also notes that there is a basement to this villa. However, they do not have any information about it.
That's probably where we got to get then.
I love a good basement.
It does note that a recent addition was made to this this structure in the basement, and it was listed as a wine cellar that was built down there.
Yeah. Right.
Cool.
So, as you guys are kind of sitting there, it's now 10 o'clock. I know we're all tired. Didn't want to do anything too crazy with Eloise gone. But you guys are now going to be able to sit down and decide over this weekend how you guys want to tackle this infiltration of this man's villa. So, think about that this week and come up with a plan. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching this evening. We appreciate you joining in with us. On behalf of everyone here at Random Rhapsody, I am Matthew R. Dawson. Have a great evening. We appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you next month.